welcome back. So, this is where you plead for a second long rest. I would say it's absolutely not. If you realize you are wounded, there are still. I would say there's still sort of the equivalent of levels of exhaustion amongst the crew. You guys have been, are the sturdier folk among them. But if you wish, I would allow a second, taking the day to sort of mend your wounds, maybe stabilize the standings and, the crew. I guess, what do you do for the day before...
I mean, Astrea is definitely gonna rest.
Yeah, I mean, you were savagely wounded.
And allow herself probably to supervise things rather than actually help. So she's probably just going to recline against a tree or something and help with advising if people have questions or organizing issues.
I have a question for you. Astrea. Which is at some point. I guess this would be Tressa. Basically walks up to you to sort of try and help bandage the wound that you have. Do you allow her?
Yes.
Okay.
If someone wants to help, Astrea will cautiously, probably with a lack of habit, obvious lack of... Oh yeah, actually that is something that people can also help me do. It's not always me who helps people, who has to help people, but she'll allow it.
Now the reason why I'm asking that is how much how much skin do we see?
The necessary part, but she's not gonna remove anything else.
Okay. Because Tressa is going basically going to try and remove your shirt, so that because to make sure that there's nothing in the wounds, or sort of not or even just maybe later to sort of knit it back to sort of repair it. Do you let her take the shirt off? Do we see your arms, or just the where the bullet hit?
Depending on I mean, we do currently have replacement shirts and so on.
Okay.
So she'd probably go for a new shirt instead of her probably torn one and bloodied one. But only Tressa would see it, as in they probably would go into a tent or something for that.
Okay.
I mean, privacy a little bit. I know sailors are not huge on privacy, but Astrea would try to keep it kind of private.
And I think Tressa understands that. Goes, oh, don't worry. There's not trying to catch a peek, right? And she'll give you the privacy, but I think that yes, the fact that you are a bit I'm keeping to myself and that kind of thing. I think for now it might have been. It might be attributed to, we're not the same crew. I understand. We just got betrayed. Whatnot. No worries. Tressa being part of Gizmo's old crew. So there is that understanding. Don't worry. Trust is not fully there. And so there's no there's no questions. Yep. So yeah, in a sense, yeah, just wanted to see that how much of that is revealed, but yeah. So Astrea,
if she helps checking the wounds and everything, she'll see some of the tattoos, but probably not the full image.
Yeah. Okay. How about let's move to Faron. Faron, what are you up to during the day?
I think there is an eye kept to logistics, making sure that the meat preserves that he prepared and kind of like for the drying, etc., don't spoil. There's precious little from that boar, and he wants to make sure that every single bit gets used. But after the events of the morning, he is going to start keeping an eye out for the sharks that smell blood in the water, see if there's anyone else in the makeshift camp who might be looking towards any of the crew, for lack of a better word, with hungry eyes or kind of like thoughts of hit them while they're weak, since they've already taken a few licks.
Make me
So
an insight check.
insight, I can do that. Yeah, that's par for the course.
As far as you understand, there is no such feelings, right? As you're maybe a bit suspicious. You're looking around, but people seem to be. Well, actually, no. I would say, what is your a failure on an insight check means that you have no additional information to sway your opinion. So, what is your general mood? Is it paranoid? Is it everything's well? What is the mood in Farron's mind?
The mood, not quite paranoid, but it's like we're not safe yet.
Okay.
So there is this tendency to keep looking for the next shoe to drop, to keep looking out like how do I survive? Where's the next threat coming? And so I suppose there's that nervousness of not allowing himself to relax.
Yeah. So you're gonna have it. Yeah. Okay. How much does Farron show this?
I think he will. Well,
Actually,
for
let's do
others,
this.
you will.
Let's do this differently. I want you to roll a
Sure.
stealth check, but using charisma. So,
Huh. Okay.
Are you proficient in stealth?
I am not proficient
Okay,
in
so just
stealth.
roll straight charisma.
Straight charisma coming right up. Ba-dum. Abilities.
Just click on the button. Just click on the charisma.
Yeah. One day I will roll good. Yeah, that's an 11.
Okay. Anyone have a passive insight above 11?
Insight.
Yes.
Nope.
16.
Okay. So Gizmo, you were oblivious. Astrea and Pax, Farron's paranoia is as evident as the nose on his face.
Do I notice them staring at him in a weird way, or do you guys keep it cool?
No. I think it's this is over the course of a day, right? This is not.
Okay,
This
okay.
is not over. This
Not a
is
specific moment, yeah.
that you realize that Astrea and Pax. You realize that Farron keeps a lot of his backs to the wall in a sense. Tries to make if he's a bit jumpy if somebody passes behind him. A lot of sort of awkward smiles. I'm guessing except for the rest of the four of you. But yeah, Farron is very much on the defensive.
He's holding the broken hilt almost as a fidget toy, almost kind of like as a playing with it, almost in a self-soothing gesture.
Astrea, because managing the camp passively as she does, is probably also keeping an eye on everyone's mental health and general health, will probably, under the guise of having your opinion on the amount of resources left or something, just call you towards her at some point. Hey, Faron,
Yeah.
do you have a minute?
Yes.
Thank you. Come have a
Sure.
seat. We need to get over the resources, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, from what we have, basically the preserves are curing right now. I've managed to render some of the fat to keep some of the other cuts. As long as the fat layer isn't broken, it's going to be okay. I haven't been able to really set up anything to smoke the tougher cuts, but with the group that we have, I mean,
We'll eat
it'll
them in priority,
sure.
if needed. But smoking is going to take a lot of food, and I don't think we can afford it.
Yeah, but I mean, it was worth a shot trying to preserve as much as we can.
Yeah,
Not
of
sure how
course.
long we're going to stay here.
No, you did an amazing job. Really, thank you. And with the battle too, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. This is, believe it or not, this is not something I'm used to, but I guess no time to learn like the present.
And how are you feeling after the battle?
Well, this changes from the galley ever so slightly, and I think at this point you can see him. He's making. I think at this point he's kind of like making the active choice to let his guard down a little bit. Body language is he's very nonchalant, or at least tries to be, but in that moment you see that it's taking him effort to maintain that, and it cracks ever so slightly.
Mhm.
Not gonna lie, it's a lot. Don't think I've almost killed anyone before today, so that's new, but what I'm honestly most worried about is that we're not quite out of the woods yet. So, trying to stay ahead of what might come next.
Do you want to
Again,
tell me, how did you get into the pirate life? Because you were on a Drake ship, right?
yeah, I suppose you could say that. Well, I needed a job, and they needed a cook, and I was apparently rather good at that. So, a life of adventure it was, I suppose. I don't suppose that would require persuasion or deception or something like that versus insight.
I would say roll me a d20, add um sort of whisper to me the d20 roll,
Okay,
and basically you're rolling deception or persuasion. Don't tell us which.
that was almost good. Um, so, oh, okay.
What's your Astrea?
Um,
What's your passive insight?
16.
Sorry, say that again.
16.
16.
right.
Do you beat a 16?
I do not beat a 16.
Okay, so
Um,
well, is Faron lying or telling the truth?
you can tell that he's he's not lying, but he's that.
It's only part of the story.
Oh, it's a very small part of the story, and I
Okay.
think with that difference, it's not like he wants to deceive you. It's he's keeping things close to the chest.
Yeah. I'm not gonna blame you. We all have our stories. We all have our secrets. And we all have things that we're not proud of in our past.
How about you? What led you to these shores? Treasure, glory, power, wealth, fame?
Upbringing and habit.
Habit. I think at that he would turn more fully towards you. What kind of habits would lead you to this godforsaken place?
Oh, to this place? No, that would be a second chance at life.
I'll drink to that. And he reaches for the hip flask that he almost gave to Gizmo before he handed over the glass bottle, and points it at you.
He'll take one sip and give it back to you.
Didn't think I would rub shoulders with Imperials and other sorts so easily, but we seem to be doing all right.
To be fair, I've only been here for 15 years. Picking sides is not really something I do in such a short time. The Erisian were just the ones who offered the better life conditions and the ones who picked me up, I guess. I could have just as easily ended up on another ship. I don't really have a loyalty to any one power over here.
What are you loyal to then?
A greater power.
Huh.
One that I'm still looking for.
All right. Well, as you said, we all have our secrets, eh? Any
But
concern of us? That greater power?
If she decides to manifest, she feels right for a reason. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, she feels right. She's talking to herself. She disconnected from you for a second and just talking it over says, yeah, she feels right. And then goes back to the conversation. I mean, divinity is hard to contradict.
Yeah, I wouldn't know much about that. I've seen a few strange things in my time, but no gods. At least I most certainly hope not. Did you were you born to the faith, or did you fall into it?
Born to the faith. Not a happy laugh. And you don't need any insight. It's a little bit bitter. Very bitter.
Speaking of reserves, how about we set up food for, well, for everyone here. At some point, that's gonna keep them satisfied. Might plan
I,
the next step afterwards.
I just had a thought. But with all the fish that must be prowling the sea around here, would we have enough to craft fishing implements? Because if we can cast a line or two, that would allow us to stretch our resources.
Yeah, those kinds of fish are an acquired taste and a risky one at that. So, listen, if you trust me to try and fillet those just right, we can give it a shot. But
You managed it with the boar.
I did. But I mean, with a boar, I know what it's like. Basically, the poisoning altered what was supposed to be normal. With fish from out there, even if you can call them fish, there's not much normal to start with. So we can give it a shot, and I've thought about it, but I definitely know that some of the people out there would much rather risk starvation than try and eat some of the things that we might fish.
Just an idea, but if it gets to it, it might still be an option.
I'll think about it. There's uh, there's some catch that's, shall we say, less risky than others, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. I'll prep it anyway, just in case.
Yeah, and if at any point you have doubts about yourself or about anything, just come and talk. And if
Ah,
at some point you feel like you can talk with me, I'd be happy to hear where your powers are coming from.
it's a very familiar laugh, that one. You had it just a few minutes before. Sure, let's go with that. Appreciate it, though. Well, this has been invigorating. Shall we
I
see?
mean,
Mhm.
Astrea is just looking at you, making sure that you're back a little bit more stable on your feet and in your mind.
You don't seem concerned that. Don't seem concerned about the others. Don't think that they might look at points to the bandages and see an opportunity
On me,
on you.
I
On
trust I trust the three of you. And if they try, I guess we'll see their true colors. But that's also the role of a captain. Able to show the crew that if you want to lead men and you hold them only by fear and threats, they're gonna take any chance to get rid of you. If you show them that you have their backs and that you trust them and their expertise, that is when you earn respect. And respect goes both ways. And truly makes a crew.
you certainly seem to have Pax's respect, which, not gonna lie, I'm rather grateful for. It's good to it's rather good to have him on our side, given the display he gave earlier this morning. Gizmo, well, actually, I haven't really figured out Gizmo yet.
There's more to him than we think, I'm sure. or
I bet.
that appears at first sight. But yeah, I mean, we've got some time before we get off these islands.
Do you want to try and find whatever might be left of that lost ship that we
Uh,
might find on the islands?
To be fair, that might be our only chance of getting off of here. So yes.
It's a long shot. That node has been there for years.
If you come up with another solution, I'm all ears.
Touché. Well, that's a problem for tomorrow, I suppose. Right now, even my stomach is having complaints, so, if you'll excuse me.
Yeah, no problem. And set the ball this way, please.
Thanks for the talk, Captain.
You're welcome, Chef.
So, on that note, do you go for the full rest, and how do you decide to feed the people adequately, or are you trying to ration?
How many rations do we still have in total right now?
The question would be actually, how many days can we afford to feed the people on full meals, and how many days on rations?
So,
Right.
No, as in rations are the meals, right? As in
No, but on rationed.
One ration is
how-
one person, 1 day.
Yeah, no, I know. If we start rationing,
Oh, right.
what is going to be the that's what I call a full meal and a ration is how
Yeah,
much
okay.
if we drop the quantity
How far can you water? What happens if you start
Yeah.
watering down the rations?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, with regards to, first of all, with regards to, you have the meat from the boar, which you can. I would say you could maybe. So you have currently. I'm counting. We have 12 named characters currently, right? And in the interest of, let's keep it to that number. Let's say that any other unnamed characters are no are all of the characters are there. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Let's put it like that. If in case we need another character, we'll bring him out from somewhere. So you have 12 people. I would say with Faron, make me a. What would this be? Intelligence. This would be a tools check. This would be sort of cooking tools check. Let's see. For roll me an intelligence check.
Intelligence.
Yeah, and you can add your proficiency because I think you are proficient with cooking tools.
I should be, yeah.
Okay.
Well, certainly.
Astrea, you want to give that guidance?
Guidance. Yes.
Crying out loud.
Okay, you can add a D4 to that result.
Seriously? Wait.
Yeah, I
Okay, so that is going to make an 11.
mhm.
Considering that you have Tressa that is helping you as who's also the cook and whatever. Tressa, at some point during the day, you hear Tressa shout, and basically you see a Faron sort of run out, his hands behind his head, protecting himself from what seemed to be an avalanche or a bombardment of cooking utensils. Get out! Wow, there! You could be hanged for this. As you realize that Faron at some point probably did not, because as you, Astrea, you put out the word to go, put out fishing lines and trying to get some fish. Basically, Faron contaminated one of the batches of food, which means that I'm going to say that for this, nobody is poisoned. However, you are going to remove from the top of the whatever watering down that you would or is not going to happen today. So you can remove basically 12 rations from your reserves.
Okay. Considering that we all have our personal rations as
Yes.
well, those were counted in, right?
Normally,
I think we'll put them all together because I don't have any rations like at all in my inventory.
so you normally
Because
with your basic kit you didn't get any, or did you remove them?
No, I think I didn't get any because oh no, yeah, I have a crowbar, a
you should have 10
python,
rations
okay.
added to that.
I don't have them. Yeah, no. I probably didn't add them during the creation, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, so it would be like we've been here for
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get them right now so that I don't forget.
And we have technically 29 days worth of rations that we found in the different wreckages.
Okay, yeah. So I would say, yeah. You know what? You now have a shared inventory.
Yeah.
So I would
I like
recommend you put all of that in there.
Yep.
Yep. Move to party equipment. There you go.
Inventory management. Fascinating stuff. One of the 4
Yeah.
or 5, I think it's the 6th pillar of D&D.
Filter by rations, and I'm gonna make up the 29 rations that we still have written down, but not.
So how many rations do you have left?
Wait a minute. Currently, but I think someone didn't add them. There's. Wait. What do we have? 1, 2, 3.
Anyhow, you know
Yeah.
that you are going to be removing. Let's move this forward.
Yeah.
So hit that long rest button, so you can reset. I guess that there is some animosity with regards to the 2 surviving mutineers, but I think that with still is very much willing to make amends. Aeson is a bit more on the defensive, right? He doesn't believe to be forgiven. He's still very much on that. The reasoning behind the raid is still very much in his mind. So he's still watchful and under watch, if that makes sense. Still is very much look, bygones be bygones. I just followed them. They had food. I went in, right? So the morale is fairly okay, but the word that you're not necessarily running out of rations, but with a group of this size, that survival is going to be tough, is still there. Staying here on this little island is going to be difficult in the long term. and the idea that there might be a larger island with a larger a larger forest, a larger biome, basically, might actually be. People start talking about plans of moving the camp from the Flow Island to the Bulwark Island, which you had seen across the ether.
Which would also be Astrea's opinion if anyone asks.
Yeah.
And since we're gonna have to go back and forth, I would actually go to what's his name again? Karen,
Mm-hmm.
the Minotaur. Oh, she's Navigator 1? That's perfect.
Yeah. I put that simply because Minotaurs are never lost. They
Yeah.
always have a sense of direction. She's never, so it's not a professional navigation skill,
Yeah.
but it's just that she has just
Instincts.
an instinct towards navigation. Yes, you
Yeah.
have 3 of the crew that have 1 rank in a specific role. I rolled for each of them to try and see if there was anything worth it, and those 3 apparently got it.
Okay. So I would suggest and actually gather the whole group
Okay.
to explain this, because I really believe that, especially in this situation, rumors and are not going to help the situation. So during the meal, probably once everyone's seated and fed, eating, Astrea would explain her plan. And ask for suggestions if anyone has opinions or suggestions on how to make it better. Basically, the plan would be we cross over to Bulwark with Karen, while everyone prepares to pick up camp and move. And once we're on Bulwark, where we have, and I'll talk about the message, saying that there has been a help message thrown into the waters. We don't know how long ago, but we suspect that there might be a ship somewhere on Bulwark that might still be, if not salvageable, at least, if not usable as is, at least salvageable, that we might use to get off this Forsaken Isles.
Okay.
But that means moving, that means crossing sea, which is still very much infected with a lot of dangerous creatures. So we would do the first crossing, make sure that Bulwark is actually safe, while Karen goes back with the ship and picks up the next batch of people. And that way we have someone running the back and forth, if they agree. If anyone has opinions or suggestions of how to do it safer, I'm all ears.
Okay. Actually, on that note, before we get to that, we asked Astrea Faron, we had that whole conversation. Pax and Gizmo, what are you doing during this day?
Yeah, actually.
I'll go first. Okay. So, well, first of all, I will rest a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, I want to take a moment to, whenever I see Farron being all gloomy, alone in a dark corner, brooding about stuff, I'll go to him, approaching him very shyly with an empty rum bottle that still has some dried blood on it. And silently, I will just give it back to him and say, "Thank you." And
You're
actually, as
welcome.
soon as you touch it, I'll take it back. I'll cast Mend on it to clean it from the dried blood, and then I'll give it back again.
Not the right spell, but I get it. So you're mending, as in just
Yeah,
rubbing
exactly.
it very strongly, just
Exactly.
hair to put it.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
So,
You
Faron,
Yeah.
you know, I, where did you learn to do all your shiny, weird, explosive stuff? Because the way I learned my stuff was like, I just like to create cool things, but you just make things go boom, and I like things that go boom. How do you do
Yeah,
that?
well, I didn't make things go boom that well this time. You were impressive, though. You said you figured that out on your own?
Yeah, I had to work a bit, a lot in my shop. I had to, yeah, to put my hands on a lot of different magical objects, and I learned to kind of play with what they can do. Yeah.
You had no one teach you.
Um. Well, kind of. My uncle mainly taught me how to do magic, but then I learned myself
Huh.
how to apply to objects. Yeah.
I must say that's a rather impressive skill. A useful one too.
Yeah, it is. Did anyone teach you yours?
I suppose in a way. Though I don't suppose you can call me a good student. Never really was much one to stay in class. Yeah, other things were more interesting to me back then. But I suppose I'm still learning as we are. And he makes the blade appear in his hand. This
Oh,
is,
shiny.
I know, right? And he flicks the blade kind of like with his finger, and it's almost like glass, but doesn't quite. It still doesn't feel quite real, and the weight is still kind of
Mhm.
like throwing him off a little bit.
Can I try to touch the blade?
You can try.
I'll try to touch the blade. Does it feel like an actual solid physical weapon?
I'm gonna say, unless UDM have other ideas, that it does. In that it's like you are first dipping your hands in a layer of fog, and then that very quickly condensates into something solid. It's it's kind of like the
Okay.
texture is off in a way. It doesn't feel like you're immediately hitting something solid. It's like you wouldn't have the reference, but imagine if static were made solid, I suppose. Or rather, let me see. No, I think that's about it.
Cool. How do you do it? How do you make it? Teach me.
I'm not sure that's the sort of thing that can be taught, and the blade vanishes. Here, hands you the broken hilt.
I take the broken hill and I try to
Mhm.
mimic the gesture, just to
Okay.
try to evoke the sword. And just like,
Make me a. Do you examine it or you just make the motion brings nothing, right?
okay,
Absolutely
the motion
nothing.
breaks something. Okay,
But if you wish to examine it, you may do so.
okay, I will. I
Investigation
will.
or Arcana, your choice.
Is it a magical object?
That's what I'm going to
Oh no,
tell you after.
it
That's what I'm
doesn't
going.
have to be magical. We just had a long rest, and I have identified.
Okay, you want to cast Identify?
I very much want to cast identify.
Okay. Do you have a pearl worth 1,100 gold? No, I'm kidding. Um. Okay. Um. I think as you're looking over the blade, um, I think you come to the realization that so Carrick's blade, Carrick's half blade, in itself is not magical. It does not have its own aura. It does not have its own energy, right? This is not a magical blade. However, the inscriptions and the way it is built, it is definitely a focus. What you have here is an arcane focus, right? It's the runes are there to direct energy rather than actually create it.
That's a neat trick.
Yeah. So as I'm guessing, as Gizmo sort of looks through the object, the object sort of lights up, as in you start seeing the runes at the edge of that invisible, non-existent blade. There's no effect whatsoever, but it's just it's like shining a light onto the diodes, and so it's reflective, not emitting light. If that makes sense.
Imagine Gizmo putting down his goggles that he's got on his head,
Yeah.
trying to analyze it very close, and you see all this sparkle, shiny going on. And then he goes like,
Oh, so this is how you channel your magic? Cool.
I suppose. I mean, it's one of the ways, at least. I'm, like I told you, I'm still learning, but well, it's proven useful in the past couple of days. So I'm gonna keep practicing, I suppose.
Well, maybe when I get back in full shape, I can try to fix it for you. Probably.
Fix it.
Yeah, that's what I do. When I'm, well, a bit less, you know.
I'm not sure I do know, but I look forward to finding out.
Gizmo just shyly nods his head, and he awkwardly stays there, nodding his head because he doesn't know what else to add to the dialogue, but he doesn't.
I mean, what you do is pretty incredible with the resources that we have. What will it take for you to be able to repair it?
I think a lot of rest. And food. Especially if I miss food so bad.
Well, I can definitely help with the food. This was before the whole spoiled rations thing.
Okay, I was about to say I can help with the food. He says, bruising the back of his neck where a heavy ladle is still imprinted on the.
At least that's the plan. Wish us luck. It did not help.
It did not help.
Did not help.
Yeah.
Well, nice chat. Thank you.
Likewise. And I think you would have just looked at this small little kobold waddle away, just happy to be there. And I think there's almost a bit of envy in kind of like, must be nice living in that head and just having the time of your life making things explode.
Right. Before we get back to Astrea's speech, Pax, anything? What are you up to? Are you muted?
That I am. we each have to do it once per episode.
Exactly.
I think with the rest, at some point when Astrea is inside the tent getting helped by Tressa to get bandaged up and everything, Pax would be wandering through the camp, and you'd see, because he's not discreet about anything, so anyone who would observe him would see him stop in the middle of the camp, look towards the tent, frown for a moment, then take a few steps towards the tent, and then just stop and turn back in the direction he was walking and continue walking, where he spots Faron in the distance. walks right up to Faron as if he's about to speak with him, stops in front of him, goes, and you see him bail as he starts walking past Faron, going like, "You need to work on your upswing." And at that point, Pax almost just leaves the actual encampment again to once more go by the boat, where he almost just sits down with a resigned sigh, grabs a piece of driftwood that he prepared for the trap before, and just idly starts whittling away at it, face just curled into a frown.
By the way, Karen and Jarks could have helped on this. What did you do with the bodies? Have they been thrown to the sea? Have you propped them up somewhere?
No, because he remembers the journey before, and I'll respond to the appropriate time for that. He would have buried them under the sand for now.
Okay.
And kept them aside.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe this would have been... You start seeing that despite being in the sand, you start seeing, crustaceans, crabs, other sort of... The sort of movement under the sand, not undead movement, definitely not, but definitely it's attracted fauna, right? There's meat there, so...
That's fine. I mean, if they're consumed before we get to use it, then that's that.
Get to use it. Okay. Okay.
Pax is crafty.
Okay.
He has thoughts.
Okay.
Depending on what you want to craft with, maybe giving them to the animals until you have bones left over is a good option.
Listen, with his charisma score, nothing about Pax is elegant.
Fair
Not
enough.
his ideas, not his fighting style, not his way of talking.
I will say, not knowing what you plan and loving the idea that I dread it, you would have taken care of the bodies in a manner that would suit your purposes. As in, if you needed the bones, you would have put them in the sand next to where the crabs were. If you needed them more fleshed out, they would have been higher among the trees, so forth. Right.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Right.
They would be more or less kept with some more meat and blood than just the bones.
Okay. Then let's get back to that speech of Astrea's, as I had asked you to roll a persuasion check, and you roll with guidance a 20. I think this basically tells me that basically the crew is unified, right? The idea is you've given them an objective. The objective is we need to move from here to there. There we will be safer. There is food. There is possibly a way out. There is an objective, and that's what they need. Despair comes when you have lack of hope and where you can't enact something to make that hope happen. You've given them an objective. The fact that you trust Karen to go along and bring you back, giving a responsibility to somebody who's not of your original crew means a lot to the rest of them. And to be honest, she, already she's looking for somebody. She doesn't want to make the trip back alone. Considering,
Okay, yeah.
right, and so you do have a couple. So the idea is you're gonna be a bit heavy on the front side, but on the back it should be okay. They are aware of the marrow, which sort of attacked the ether wolves as well. So sending somebody alone on a boat is not a good idea. But there's also talk about already sort of pulling down the palisades and making a larger raft, which could be maybe sort of attached to the rowboat and used in that way. So yes, they are they understand that you four are going to scout the island for potential risk and for potential and on their end they will try to make sure that they can follow, as in they will be building a larger raft for the 8 of them, which is not negligible.
So we're 12 total. So
You
there
are currently
8
12 total, yes,
Yeah, okay.
at least in camera, right? If something else, if there's another few that need to appear at some point, they will.
Yeah.
But effectively, I'm counting 12. I was counting on 12 anyways, and then you decided to... Those 2 reserves, the 2 faceless, just became the 2 that you rescued from the crew. I was not counting on you actually sparing Aelin, and still.
Isn't it?
Isn't, yeah. So.
To be fair, that's all Pax.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Astrea wasn't exactly feeling generous.
I love the fact that it's the cleric going, no, if they die, they die. And Pax is going, you know what? I want to eat your face, but you might be useful to me alive.
I think after the speech, Pax will approach Astrea.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have empty barrels? Flotsam. 5 of them.
5 I can't guarantee. I know we have some, but we can certainly look around and count them.
I need them. Help make our travel safer.
All right. We also need some for the food and water that we're gonna carry. But if we can make sure that you have 5, we'll free them. Yeah.
These don't have to be in good shape. They just need to hold long enough.
Oh, that
yeah.
changes things. I'll address Barto, who took charge, and I'll ask if they have non-sealed barrels.
I think you find Bardo basically with a improvised crowbar, basically taking apart a crate and going, what? So if it gets the hammer, starts nailing back the crate together. Goes, okay.
Oh, he's gonna hate what I want to do with it even more now with the effort.
But it also understands this is captain's orders. And I think more and more you hear when you make a request, when you make a demand, as in we need to do this, the rumor that goes around is captain's orders. So, you've had your day of work, long rest, early morning. What's the plan?
Fresh and up and early in the morning, I go and retrieve my cured corpses out of the sand to stuff 1 per barrel.
Okay.
I'm starting to get an idea of what you want to do, but Astrea is going to come and ask you, so what's your plan exactly?
While very unceremoniously stuffing, Marger into a barrel, like leg pushing into the head, just looks up, points towards the water. Predators smell blood.
Yes.
Right? We were attacked on our dinghy on the way back. So,
Yes.
give them something else to hunt. And as he says that, he just pulls 1 arrow out of his quiver and through one of the cracks of the barrel just stabs the corpse to cause a bleeding puncture wound. And then
I'm gonna tell you that
Goes to move the
after 12 hours, there's no blood to. There's no blood. There's no blood anymore that's gonna flow, but the smell is still gonna be there.
Pax isn't smart enough to know that part of anatomy, but he's smart enough to know blood smells.
I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be some. You poke at the belly, it's gonna be a bloated corpse. There's gonna be some fluid. It's not gonna be blood.
It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
pretty or pleasant.
No.
But it has to be gooey.
And it
smelly.
has to go on the other side of the island, preferably, to attract
Yes.
the predators on the other side of the island.
That's Pax. I think Astrea and Pax are just agreeing at this point.
Yeah.
And it's like, we have to move it to the yes on the other side.
Yes.
I'll ask Karen to help carry.
Well, technically, I would say ask Jork and Dunan and Decan, or two people who aren't gonna be on the first round, because then they can drop them in the water while we start going.
As you're mentioning other people from the
Yeah.
island, you see there is a moment where Pax seems to stiffen for a bit, frowning for a second at the mention of other names before he just sighs and then nods, almost just swallowing any protest he might have. Good.
Yeah.
And he goes off to find those to help him move those. Wait, it's 4 because there were 6. We kept 2 alive. 4 barrels of corpses to the other side of the island.
That's a rare sentence.
TTRPGs where you say those weird sentences and don't get judged for them.
Welcome to the list.
Hey, at least you didn't look it up on Google.
No. 4 barrels of
Okay.
corpses in crates.
And question for our DM. Based on my notes from, I believe, the first session, I still have a water skin line somewhere. A water
We
skin
have a
with
couple of
"Do
them,
not
yeah.
touch" written on it.
Yes, that one's been
Did
used.
somebody touch it?
No, that one's been. You've gone back then used it. It's been sort of yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
If you know what, you tell me. Has it been? If it hasn't, you can just see it is now full. It took 24 hours to fill, but it's full.
I go back to the party very proud of the fact that I managed to provide a lot of water, which was the initial plan for the water skin. So, very satisfied.
About what?
See, more
About a
quality.
liter of water in a day.
That's a lot.
Right. So, what is the plan? So you've got Operation Distraction, Corpse Distraction. Corpse Distraction, definitely a heavy metal cover band.
Absolutely.
100%.
Would be death metal.
I don't know.
I mean,
So yeah, essentially with those barrels, I do want to try and get them on a current that is still within this network, but not in the one we're gonna take towards Bulwark.
I guess if there's a current taking them from flow to tektite, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be what I'm gonna aim for.
Yeah.
Is there a way I can help with my navigator's tools to determine where the best drop point would be?
Sure. Make me a navigation roll. This would be intelligence.
I have it in my
Oh yeah, perfect. Then. Oh yeah. And considering that your multiple, this is a plan working by multiple with a 23 and
And an extra d4.
yeah, that's a 24.
Yeah.
That's you're good. Nice. No, I think yes. So with the amount of and with the 24, that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that your travel is going to be slow because you're heavy in the boat, but it's going to be fine. Where are you headed?
Technically, Bulwark Island, the airward side. So
Okay.
I guess we can aim for something over here.
Okay. Yeah.
According to the currents, yeah.
So, as you head out, you can see from afar sort of the barrels sort of floating in there and making their own way across the waves. There is a, I guess, who would have been with you? So crew management, I guess. Actually, I think most likely with Karen, you would have probably had Still and Bardo. Or no, actually no. So Barto definitely because lighter, so it takes less space. Who would be the third? Actually, no, they would be Still because you Dunnan, Dyken, and Jorik were hanging the barrels,
over.
and Tressa is not going to do. Tressa is not going there.
No.
So yeah, so it would be Still. So Still is very much inspired by I described the scimitar, but she's very much the axe kind of the person, so two-handed, sort of holding the axe just in case. There's Bardo has taken up he's fashioned himself a sling and has been sort of picking up sort of rocks and stuff like that across, and sort of you've seen him sort of practice with this sling. He's actually not a bad shot. Clearly a youth of hunting small game with just the sling. But yeah, it's so you make your way all the way to Bulwark Island. Before that, though, I will say this about. There we go. As you pass by mostly the center, so roughly around here, the center of these four land masses, you get to what you could call Cork Bottle Island. So it's just this lump of volcanic basalt or granite that seems to almost like a champagne cork above the water. Right. A cloak of steam surrounds this small black island. As you draw closer, you can see it's almost perfectly circular, and it's wider at the top than its base, so it vaguely resembles a cork in the neck of a bottle. Steam hisses up from where the island meets the surface of the ether, and you can feel, even if you're staying maybe a healthy distance, about maybe 50, 60 meters away, you can feel the heat. It doesn't take much for you of the more experienced crew to realize that whatever might be under there would probably be a portal to the fire plane that has been basically corked by this massive rock. Basically, you're pretty sure that underneath that is most likely a portal version of a volcano.
Do not disturb.
Do not disturb. Gizmo, it comes to you as you're looking into that, you're going, huh, I could make that blow. thinking that, thinking back to that explosion that you set,
I thought you were giving me an actual chance to do that.
Well, if you have the right equipment, but you're going, if I had black powder or
If I had a black powder, I could,
or a
yeah.
cannonball, yeah.
I play a flashback of that moment in my mind. I'm like, yeah.
I see what
Well, I admire your skills, but I would like to stay in one piece.
I think in everybody's, as the camera pans out, as everybody's sort of looking to that, everybody's eyes reflect the steam coming up from the cork, and in Gizmo's eyes, it's just two giant flames. So you are not seeing what the others are seeing, or the others are not seeing what you see. Anyways, the as you get to the island, it is there's first of all you find yourself having to go around I guess this would be sort of like a reef, as in this sort of high wall of not obsidian, sort of black glassy ridge, sharp enough where you would think that you could probably be able to cut your hand on it. Again, feeling like intense heat versus the ether, and it just stops there. As you go about it, you find a larger landmass. Not as flat beaches as you had previously. Here, there's almost no beach. As you land onto the ground, you basically need to have somebody jump out, grab and tie the boat before it flows back up, because there's no space for you to actually dock the boat on its side. It's immediately, and it's hard rock. There's no beach, just these rock inclines. But above, about a couple of meters away, you start seeing a much larger jungle. This is not just a crop of trees. This is an actual jungle. The four of you quickly jump off. The other three sort of wave goodbye, and you find yourselves now on Bulwark Island without a boat.
At least there's plenty of wood.
True that.
Actually, yeah, let's do that. What, actually, more than that, very quickly enough, actually, Pax, as you're looking about, so there's plenty of wood, you start to realize that a lot of the trees, even here on the sides, they have very specific markings. As in, you can see that about a meter high, you can see that the bark has been stripped away in certain areas of the trees. You can also see that there are patches of ground that have been sort of mulched or turned over. And from what you understand and what you've seen, you understand now where that poisoned boar, might have come from.
He would have swum all the way up to Tiktite?
Or gotten
Probably
caught
got
caught in the current.
caught in the current and stranded like us.
Okay. Well,
This is good news.
at
because
least we'll have
whatever's
food.
in there might not be contaminated.
Yeah.
Well, we need to prepare hunting and set up camp for when the boat comes back, right?
Let's first at least make sure of a part of the island. How big is the island? How long would it take for what we see of it, go around it if we wanted to any form of life on the island.
So you happen to have on the map, you have the scale, right?
Yeah.
So at
Yeah.
about 1 or 2 miles. It's about about 2 miles across.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry, I did not put up that up. I should actually do up the
No, no,
scale
no.
and.
No worries.
More or less, the scale is like one tick is like 10 feet. This is like 60.
Yeah.
So it means it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, about 6 miles. Yeah.
6 miles. So
6 Mile Island.
Yeah.
plus the part we don't see in the map because it's cut.
Yeah, because the map is cut off. But
The as you move in, so you go into you start exploring a bit.
What time of the day is it?
Sorry.
What time of the day is it right now? Like, is it like early morning or is it almost night?
there's
Oh,
no
the
night
light-
and day cycle.
What is day? What is night?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. True.
In a sea
So-
of endless twilight.
Yeah.
Why don't all of you roll me an investigation check?
Yeah.
Let's start with that.
One thing
Does
that
it help if I
Astrea...
have 14 as passive?
I'll consider this as a investigation, my love.
Oh, I heard you say perception, but my bad.
I mean, we've got okay. Of course. Okay, good. So that's 21, 11, 2, and a 10. Okay.
Pax looks distracted.
I think Pax is not necessarily. Yeah, he distract. What
He's
is?
not
What
focusing
are
on
you?
the task at hand.
Okay.
He's pretty much, you see him mulching in his brain, sometimes mumbling something in that same language he spat towards the others during the fight. And then every now and then just idly scraping one of his claws past a piece of wood that he was whittling into no shape whatsoever. He's distracted.
You scour the beach first, sort of running. You start by exploring sort of the beach and before actually going into the jungle. The first thing that I think you do is you go sort of north, airward, trying to see at least that part of the island. When I think, Pax, maybe that you're a bit distracted, but no, I'm not trying to find the right narrative. Where's the right narrative? Okay, here we go. As you're walking through the edge of the forest, keeping an eye outward, inward, because you are, in a sense, I guess what are you looking for, right? You're looking for, traces of account, threats,
resources.
With regards to resources, this forest seems luxurious. There is clearly an ample supply of water that supplies this plant life. It is with the amount of, you find traces of boars, as I mentioned, but also it seems that there are the birds. There's other sort of fauna around here, and so sufficient food to nourish them. Probably not enough to sustain 12 of you over the coming months, but who knows. What you do find after about an hour's search is, and I think Gizmo, you're the one who looks at this. Maybe you're looking out to sea. Maybe you're there's a splash of that sort of catches your eye, because you find pretty much right here. I'll put a token there. Put a marker. Let's put a blue marker.
Okay.
But just about here. caught caught at the entrance, as in it had tried to make its way between the reef and the island, sort of trying to find protection from the waves and from the currents. You see, propped up onto the reef, a wide ship.
Does it have any name on the front?
I think you immediately go to Astrea's bag before and sort of rummage around and grab the spyglass. And as you peer into it, you look at the front of the ship. The ship is a bit like you saw your own ship previously, right? It's moored onto the reef. It's been bashed against the reef, propped up. But you can just see the front of it, the angles. Right, you can see how do you call it? The figurehead. The figurehead. It's a. It's sort of it's a nondescript humanoid. You're not exactly sure if it's a man or a woman, but wearing sort of tricorn hat. It's extended its arm forward, maybe above, broken at the elbow, and on the side of it, you do read the word legend.
Ooh.
We
Well.
found a ship. We found a
We
ship.
found the ship.
Hey. I found the ship, okay? I'll put it in my notes. Gizmo found the legend. So, as soon as I make the connection in my brain, like as soon as it clicks, I go like, and I run super, super fast to Astrea. And I start like pulling on her clothes and like,
Oh,
the lady!
She knows. I mean, you stole her spyglass out of her bag.
Yeah,
She knows.
I know.
To the point where you go. She goes, "What? What are you
fair.
going?" Sort of looking above, and as you come back, she's going, "Give me that."
To be fair, Astrea would carry her spyglass in a pocket rather than in her pack.
Do you really want me to make Gizmo make a sleight of hand check?
Please make him a roll. Please.
Gizmo, roll me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, he's not trying to be discreet, so he's basically just probably something around the lines of opening the jacket,
Yeah,
grabbing
pretty
the
much it.
face.
Yeah, more or less, yeah, that's what happens.
I still want to see that roll, that dice roll. Come on, go.
Okay, I'll go. Sleight of hand. Voila.
Yeah, that's a
I
four.
mean, not bad.
That's pretty much
Go,
going
go.
up, grab it, go before
Yeah.
even Astrea goes, what the
And then as soon as you realize what happened, I'm already back. I'm like, the lady! You have to check. You have to come. And I literally trying to pull you with me, even though I
Yeah,
cannot.
Astrea will be good spot, Gizmo. Good spot. Give me that so that I can access the ship. Because I can imagine Gizmo with the spyglass still in hand, grabbing Astrea's hand.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, as you pan your spyglass across the bow of the ship, you see the figurehead. Indeed, an elven figure wearing a tunic and a pointed hat, with the sword and shield in hand. Though the sword hand has fallen away, crashed away. And yes, this is the legend. The notorious pirate ship rumored to have been lost in this reef years ago, and the focus of your treasure hunt. Now, before I ask you what you're about to do, we're going to end tonight's session there.
Ah.
Ah! Ah,
Of course.
of course. Right.
Nice.
So,
Gizmo resisting the instinct to blow it up.
oh, I'm going to give Nadea enough time to have Gizmo's gears churn and churn, and so we will be seeing that reaction next time, definitely. However, on that note, to those watching, if you are on the channel for a while, you know the drill. If you're just here for the story, we'll see you in the next episode. If you want to hear our thoughts and I was about to say thoughts and prayers, maybe about what happened this episode and this session. Well, stick around, and we will be discussing things, right? So, to those who would leave us, farewell, stay safe. To those who would stay, see you in a bit. Whoop. There we go, after show. So, folks, how are we doing?
We're gonna have a ship. We're gonna have a ship. I'm very happy.
Oh, I mentioned this. We are definitely naming this episode the Faron Dialogues.
Yeah, that's good. Everybody wanted to have.
Well, did I have one with Pax this time?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Technically, you did.
Actually, yep.
It was very short, but it was there.
Yeah,
Listen, we had a longer conversation in the previous session.
that's true. I was looking forward to having a chat with Gizmo because I think so far
Yeah,
it's the
we've been
character
talking
with whom
about
I've had the. Yeah, exactly. But everyone wanted a piece of Faron this time, so which I'm not complaining about. Like small character moments.
Pretty boy. Everyone wants a piece of the pretty boy.
Yeah. Pretty boy who almost poisoned kind of like half the crew, apparently. So,
I mean,
Not
that's
sure we're gonna keep you as a cook, though.
Look,
Listen, I was distracted. Okay, I was trying to make sure no one of us gets stabbed in the back.
Oh, was that the distraction, or was the lovely Tressa the distraction?
No. Hey, no. I don't think. I think that's an interesting question. I don't believe that he would be that distracted in that moment. At least not for that reason.
romantic interest. Okay, yeah.
No, it's.
I mean, if Tressa's love language is a ladle to the face, I mean, that's an opening salvo right there.
Tangled must be popular in this universe.
It's more than popular. It's a martial arts.
That opening fight, though, guys. Whoa.
Yeah, let's talk about that one.
That was
Let's talk
something.
about that.
That was just cool.
Yeah, I love when the party says, "You know what? We're going to not sleep together." Wait, that came out wrong.
That probably sounded better in your head.
Yeah.
At least in my fan fiction.
Give it time.
Yes.
Really, anyone?
No, I think the idea that Pax. So so to be sort of fully open, Pax sent me send me a message. Panda sent me a message. Right after the last session, saying, "Oh, do you think that it'd be okay if I ask the others if I can sleep on the ship to protect the ship?" And I'm going, "Sure, not a problem." And then immediately I asked, "Remind me who were those 3 deserters that we talked about?"
Apropos of nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just
Apropos of absolutely
no
nothing.
reason.
Unrelated question.
To
Yeah.
be fair, you just gave me credibility to Pack sleeping by the boat.
yeah, absolutely,
All
100%.
is well.
Yeah.
Level 2 yo-yo is scary though, gave me a healthy dose of anxiety. I've had my quota for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Level 2 is very much still deadly encounter
Oh, yeah.
zone.
I am very aware, but you play a character at the end of the day.
Oh,
And
I know.
it adds to the sense of danger and uncertainty that there wouldn't be a proper guard structure or there wouldn't be such an airtight kind of security. Ending up in, a theft and raid attempt being caught at the absolute last second, and then basically it's whoever scrambles the fastest.
Yeah. No, which also meant that this was because the idea that we had, so there was a version of this in my head where I was going, well, Astrea and Faron had their combat, right? And then I realized they didn't because they managed to basically scare the marrow away. And I'm going, oh, maybe I should have, Pax and Gizmo tank a little bit, have that thing where... and then I just kept adding... I'm going, they're 3. That's not enough because the others are going to join. I'll add another 4 to the mix.
You made it extra deadly.
I made it deadly, but the captain the bandit captain had, I think, is a CR2 and he's at 53 hit points. The others had 11. So when Gizmo hits 13 damage on a spell, or Pax goes for a bite for 10, I'm going, you know what? That last hit point doesn't really matter.
That's very gracious of you.
Yeah, it's I would also expect if you take a hit that is going to bring you in one shot 3/4 down. Astrea, you took what was that the bullet?
2 bullets.
Yeah, you took 2 bullets. I mean, you went from full to what, 3 hit points, 2 hit points?
1.
One
There you
hit
go.
point.
I was down to 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Which is the point where Astrea said,
Nope.
listen, I like you very much, guys, but that's a nope from me.
It could almost have been interpreted that Pax hid behind Astrea to use a second wind, and then Astrea got completely pummeled.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Astrea had been hitting Devros pretty badly.
Yeah. I could almost...
Thank you for the killing blow, because I wouldn't have gotten it without the advantage, so thank you very much for that.
Yes.
Guiding bolt.
There's a reason all my clerics pack guiding bolts, and that is precisely the reason.
Can we talk about the fact that both our Scaly boys have had the revenge shot?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
As in,
Yes.
Gizmo, you had the killing shot on Kirek.
Yep.
Pax, you've had it on so it's what's his name again? Anyways, the Grateful Dead. There. I think there's something poetic. As in, for now, you've had your revenge enacted. So congratulations.
Nice.
Does Astrea need revenge on someone?
Oh, you have no idea.
But that's at the end of the
gonna be for
campaign.
another campaign.
That's probably going to be
That's
for another
all the
campaign.
way at the end.
We had names. She has a list.
Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the list is simple. There's one name, but that one name packs a hell of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about that opening scene. For you, Astrea. I have to admit, without really wanting it, I kind of rushed it because there was no real play, because it was in memories, because I wanted to get to the fight. But yeah, we're definitely going to. I saw those 3 looking, going, what the fuck? And so we're definitely going to explore that. Definitely. And I immediately saw, Faron asking, "So, where are you from? Come here often." And I loved the two of them asking questions and making the greatest effort not to answer to any question anyone was asking on either side. Saying, "Oh, so where are you from? Somewhere. How about you? Elsewhere."
A lot was said without anything ever being.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
There,
exactly.
there were a lot of information hidden in the answers that were given.
Yeah, and I love the fact that because I know those answers, I'm going, "Oh, I understand that. Oh, well done." Oh, that. Yeah.
Just remember, if you do that to other characters, some of us has 4 charisma.
It's not a charisma problem, it's a wisdom or intelligence problem. No?
It's not that high either on that part.
I mean, it in a weird way, it is useful though, because kind of like both with Pax and with Gizmo, if you don't have the charisma, kind of like to do the politeness judo of, oh, they're dodging questions, I get it, and just like, oh, cool, let me ask the question again. That kind of also works.
Those are the characters where you can actually say, well, listen, let me jump with both my feet.
Oh, subtlety doesn't work? Let me run up. Yeah. I mean, the basic principle, right, of any secret in any role-playing game, whether LARP or whatever, is that a secret is supposed to be revealed at some point, right? And all of you have fairly interesting backgrounds, and I'm gonna love seeing that be slowly revealed and how the others react to it, because this is a motley crew, and it's going to be interesting to see how each and one of you reacts to the other's background stories and how that comes out. Yeah, we've got some drama coming our way.
I mean, we had already very cool scenes with Pax just going berserk.
Oh, 100%. And
my God.
I love the fact that
you're all experiencing the beast right now.
But that was amazing to see, actually.
Yeah.
The dialogue with with Devros before the fight was also very interesting.
No. And nobody heard it. No, okay. No, I think that there's actually, Panda, you mentioned this during the break, sort of off camera, about the racism, and you weren't necessarily expecting it. Sorry to have sprung that on you just like that without warning. Okay. I think it's very much, but I think that was kind of part of. I mean, we're going to explore that aspect a bit through the backstory as well, and well, next session's intro scene is going to be yours. But there's definitely, I think throughout the Empire there is that kind of thing where, sort of, I'm moving the Empire into not necessarily far right, but definitely human first, or at least humanoid first. And which is amplified, of course, by the fact that you got the promotion that he was probably looking for, right? I mean, same with Gizmo. We saw that as well, where you had that one guy who kept being interrupted in his ambition, and therefore, you know what? I'm going to kill my captain. So it is a world of violent ambition, where when the easiest solution is violence, and there aren't any consequences, you usually take it.
Absolutely. What I do find fascinating in this aspect is that it was the way you presented it very much felt themed, that the discrimination stands from humanoid towards animal-like. Which I found very interesting, considering more of the background story that I almost talked my mouth
and
stopped myself in time.
I mean, the fact that it's funny, but the I don't know who was it. I who coined this phrase, "the beast."
Yeah,
I think.
you did. It's not in my
Um,
background anywhere.
yeah. But it's also that came from the fact. I mean, you played the berserker, right? You played the. I grabbed the guy's throat, and I usually usually when you bite, you do more damage than with your actual weapon.
Which is insane because I have a lower D die. I
Yeah.
have a 1d6 plus 4 for my bite and a 1d8 plus, well, 4 normally plus 5 now thanks to Gizmo with my axe.
Which is, but the every single bite you've taken, or at least the ones you've hit with, have been incredibly brutal.
Yeah.
The
Dice tell a story.
Oh no, absolutely. And when you have, I mean, I think what was the last one? I mean, most of the sailors or the bandits that you've been here have 11 hit points, right? So when I think the previous one you did 8.
Yep.
Um,
I mean, in the beginning of the fight, I insta-killed one with my bite.
yeah, you rolled a 10. 11 hit points. I decided that last hit point is not gonna matter. Okay, yep. And then the next turn, does he get up? Nope. Okay. No. So the whole the
Is that there?
Yeah, we lost Nader on
Oh.
Yeah,
VC.
on Discord.
Oh.
He's still moving on Ninja, but we lost him on Discord.
But yeah, I think it was interesting to see the Pax being on one hand being the beast, but also the merciful beast. As in, please, drop the weapon, go limp. Do not make me do this to you, because I will end with prejudice.
Pretty much. There is, I mean, without wanting to say too much, there is a turmoil in Pax. His business as usual that his crew has seen is upset because of the situation, like is for everyone. And this is one of the representations that I was able to put forward today.
No, I like it.
It was a very good show don't tell in a way, because through the actions you could see, oh, he's got something going on, which is not always easy to do in this kind of format. It's really good storytelling.
I'm gonna start blushing. Thank you.
Yeah. No, and I also like the little, where do your loyalties lie, right? As in, loyalties go to the ship, and you're going, no, loyalty goes to the captain. And Dave was basically going, what? No, that's not how it works. Why? No, what did I do? Is it, yes, former right hand, as in implying, come on, she wasn't even loyal to you. So that
Pretty much.
Yeah. We'll explore that later on as well.
Absolutely.
I also like the idea that that could also be a difference of perception from a lizard folk than a human. How loyal can you be to an object compared to being loyal to a person? Which actually makes sense. That you're not loyal to an object or you're loyal to a person.
Well, when I say loyal to the ship, I'm not talking about the physical object, right? I'm talking about
to
the crew,
to
the ambient. But also, in a sense, it's an imperial ship, so loyalty to the empire.
Yeah.
And also the fact that there's no more captain. We haven't heard, hide or hair from her, so she's gone. Let's survive. But yeah, I think it's a there's a lot to unpack, and I'm happy that we're getting to that.
really allowed to come back.
2 out of 3 players calling Astrea captain already.
Yes.
That was nice, and I loved the scenes in which it happened.
No, absolutely. We're starting to see, and I mean, a dirty 20 with guidance helps. As in, I pretty much secured the okay. You did the speech, and yes, now everything is captain's orders. I mean, that was always the objective, anyways, right? That's what we were going for.
It was, but I still, like I mentioned in our last after talk, I love how organically it flows in the scenes that are being created like that.
Yeah.
Vulnerable scene between Faron and Astrea, where a lot was said but nothing was told, to still end up with that parting in new understanding and newfound respect. To then call her captain was very cool.
It's interesting because I don't think Faron or myself as the player, I don't think I expected Astrea to be as almost caring in that sense, because you've always presented her as being very much in the mentality of a wartime sort of like medic. Like, if they die, they die. You do triage, you're effective. And here, suddenly, you have a moment of care and of concern expressed, kind of like almost kind of like the therapist kind of like being like, well, if you need to talk, And I was like, I almost wanted to insight check Astrea in that moment, trying to see, okay, is this born out of genuine care? Or is this kind of like
Keeping the tools
essentially
sharp.
trying? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think in that moment, in a way, what makes sense to me was like, you know what? Faron would be like, either way, fair play,
Yeah.
So,
can see that.
because either this is someone who genuinely cares, I can work with that, or this is someone who calls me out on my shit and is aware enough to kind of like do these types of check-ins. I can definitely work with that too. So,
Do you want an
int-
answer, or do
oh no,
you?
oh no, I don't. It's much more fun if we find out kind of like along the way.
I want to
No,
know,
because
but we'll discuss this off the
yeah,
camera. But yeah, now having had in another LARP, in another other character, another LARP, had that exact conversation. There was basically a general archetype and a soldier archetype, and that general officer kept sending their soldier to war on and on and on and on again, and my character basically went in and says, you should let them rest. Officer goes, why? They're happy to do it. That's what they do. I built them to do it. And I'm going, yes, they're a tool. I agree. The player playing the soldier goes white and going, what the fuck are you saying? They're a tool, but you keep them sharp. And at that point, I saw the player playing the officer going, huh, I had not thought of that. And so it was that thing where I tricked basically somebody into empathy by saying, yes, they're a tool. Yeah. Technically, you could discard them, but that means you'll have to train somebody else. Ah, right. Okay, I'll take care of my tools. And so when Astrea went up to Faron and going, so how you doing? I kind of going, yeah, that's her testing the sharpness of the edge. At least that's how I saw it. Don't answer that. That's my That's my personal interpretation. And we'll have a conversation out of game with that.
I mean, for those who know, and you have seen Astrea's memories technically. her background is a very big indication of how she's working and how she thinks.
Hopefully I left it vague enough so that people are going, huh?
I'm going, huh? So you got one person, just one more, and you got people.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Like there was recently, I saw this video of a content creator asking a lawyer. So when people do good cop, bad cop in interrogations, does that not work anymore? Because everyone sees it coming, and they're like, no, of course it works. Like people in crisis situations when they're scared, they will cling on to any sort of warmth, any sort of like alliance that they can find. And so it doesn't really matter even if Faron in that situation kind of like wonders, is this genuine? If you're in a position where you genuinely need to kind of like relieve that sort of pressure and someone gives you the opportunity, I think it makes sense to take it.
Yeah.
And
very much in a case of if you need a hug, you'll get a hug from a pickpocket.
sure. And I think and I think at this point, given every other action undertaken, even if it's a pickpocket, at least it's a competent one and one that's going to keep him alive. So fair enough. But no, I think ultimately I chose not to roll because I thought it might be more interesting to keep that ambiguity in the scene and in the interaction between the characters.
Speaking of tools and that sort of forced empathy, what are you going to do with that mutineer?
Well, Pax is going to have conversations with that mutineer when there's more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty much going to be a conversation, and depending on what they say. But as I said, I've already kind of told people, but Pax doesn't have charisma. So when he has to converse with someone, yeah. When he's not coated in blood with his weapon out and his fangs bared, he doesn't really get his point across often. So
Ouch! That's why you do piercing damage.
yeah. The intention that I do have is to talk with that mutineer and see about pulling them back across the line. For Pax, there is a different motivation than just strength in numbers. It is someone from his crew.
Yeah.
So
I want to hear from Astrea, as in captain on the ship. Right? Let's move forward to that moment where these survivors amount to your crew. This man essentially tried to steal from you, to murder and abandon your troop. Yet he is on board at the request and at the mercy, literally, of he who will most likely become your first mate.
That is the thing. That's the only reason that person survived, is because Astrea trusts Pax enough and respects his decisions enough to agree to that danger to me. And that is also the reason why next camp scenes, because I didn't want to pack on, because I know the story has to go forward and it can be interesting to delay that conversation a little bit. Astrea is going to grab Pax at some point and go, okay, now we need to talk.
why am I imagining Astrea now walking up to Pax and grabbing him by the membrane and just yanking him along?
Oh, no, that's not going to be that aggressive. It's just going to be, now sit, we need to talk.
That's worse. Can you please yank me by the membrane?
I'm not mad and not yet disappointed. Yeah,
Looking
forward to it.
I can't wait for that scene. I can't wait for
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
It's very much the. If we're going to get that ship moving in the same direction, it would be good if we were on the same page.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm looking forward to that conversation. Astrea is a complicated new friend / acquaintance for Pax. It's fun to explore.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone wants to discuss?
To rebound on the discussion, because I really liked the fact that Faron actually asked the question of how the different ships and the different crews and the different how do you feel and how do you get a feeling of unity in the fact that there are prejudices. So that is also an interesting challenge. I know I made it very easy on myself by having Astrea actually not having any loyalties to any form of government, that's very much part of a background. There's a reason for that again.
To be discovered later.
Yeah, but I think that that's really an interesting part of the challenge as well. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be... Now I need to create the backstories of every one of these characters. You realize that, right?
A lot of writing.
Yeah. Or just none and just improvise on what I need and in the moment. But at least I'm going to have to try and find portraits for all of them. Not necessarily portraits I can show here, because, artists, copyright and that kind of thing, but I can certainly put that on
I think most of them you'd be able to make up in Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's, yeah.
Character creation. The most difficult one would be the Minotaur.
Yeah.
And you can do dragonborn with or tiefling with horns and just. We'll discuss it.
Yeah. Right. Anyways, on that note, I think we can close it off. This little after show. Thank you, my players, for allowing me to bring you on this little journey through these chronicles. Thank you, who are watching, for following along. If you do not know who these people are, go back to the first episode. We do a recap there. But yeah, as we are taping this, we've just got news that the art is coming in. So that's going to be... But I am saving that for chapter 2 of in the second arc. So, all of this is very much still temporary. Though I'm liking how this overlay looks. On that note, thank you for watching. Thank you for going through along with this. Again, if you have any questions, remarks, please comment below. If you have... You know what? If you have any ideas for backstories to this list of characters, I'll just read them off here very, very quickly. So we have Karen, a female Minotaur, formerly of the INS Triumph. Jork, half-giant male of the EMS Acquisition. Tressa, a dwarven cook and quartermaster from the INS Predestination. Barto, the halfling who basically boatswain. Dunnan and Dyken, two survivors from the Predestination, who basically sort of picked up after their ship exploded. Again, we have clearly our two reptilians here that are into adopting humanoids. And then Asen and Still, who we've talked about tonight. Both of them deckhands. Right. If you have ideas about their backstories and or characteristics, let us know. Maybe I'll choose one and shout you out. Right. That's where we're going to leave off. So once again, thank you. Friends, foes, those undeclared, stay safe, and we'll see you next time up on the waves.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.